Hi, I'm Antoinette Reynolds, and this is my diversity food experience. I chose to attend the Lantern Lights Festival here in Minnesota. Before having my experience or choosing my experience, it was quite difficult for me because I do come from a diverse background as far as me being multiracial, as far as me experience a variety of different religions, and as far as me being around people from various walks of life, dealing with people from various walks of life, um, I really just was stuck as to what I would do. And one day, while I was in the car listening to the radio, I heard an advertisement for the Lantern Lights Festival, and I was like, there we go, that's my event. I will choose to experience that. That is a culture that I don't know much about. So before attending the Lantern Lights Festival, I did some research on China and lanterns to get a background before going. In my research, I found that lanterns were first created between 25 and 200 AD. However, lanterns did not become well known to common people until 618, between 618 and 907 AD. And then at that time, the lanterns began being used by common people, and they were used to celebrate the people's peaceful life and to show power. The purpose of the lantern initially was just as a source of light. The lantern was created in order to block the wind from blowing the light out or blowing the candle out, so they created the material around it in order to keep it lit. Now the lanterns are used for decorations, in celebrations, and for Buddhist worship. The lanterns are used to symbolize national pride and, as stated before, strength and peacefulness. There are three different types of lanterns, and I did a bit of research on all three. The first type is the hanging lantern, which is the most common type of lantern. You'll see these lanterns hanging all throughout China on homes and on various public buildings. However, you will see a lot more lanterns being hung right around the Chinese New Year. Um, the Chinese people believe that this lantern protects them from the Nam monster and brings good luck. I also took my time to read up on the Nam monster. The Nam monster is a Chinese, almost like folk tale, and the story is that there is the monster Nam, which is a long-headed, fierce monster with a long horn that lives in the sea all year round. But on New Year's Eve, the Nam monster comes out onto shore and it sets out to eat livestock and to harm humans in nearby villages. Therefore, the Chinese people believe that these lanterns will bring them good luck and protect them against that fierce Nam monster. The second type of lantern is the flying lantern. This lantern is most commonly used during the special Mid-Autumn Festival. These lanterns are often released in large groups. Um, at the Mid-Autumn Festival, the people come together and they have all created or made their flying lanterns, and they light them and they let them loose. The third type of lantern is the floating lantern. These floating lanterns come in various shapes and sizes, and they are most often released during the Dragon Boat Festival. So as you can see, these three different lanterns kind of have their own purpose, their own style, and their own time of year in which they're used. So, just to recap, the hanging lanterns are used around the Chinese New Year to protect against the Nam monster and to bring good luck. The flying lanterns are used at the Mid Autumn Festival, and the floating lanterns here are used during the Dragon Boat Festival. One of the questions that I set out to ask and to research was about the Chinese Lantern Festival back in China. I wanted to know when it took place, so in my research, I was able to find that it takes place on the 15th day of the first lunar month. This festival marks the end of the Chinese New Year festival. Here's a video of the Lanterns Festival in Minnesota. It just shows some of the lanterns that were displayed. I attended the festival in Shakopee on October 7th. I went with my fiance, our kids, and our nephew. This was a huge festival that brought out a lot of people. There were many different attractions for all ages. My children had a lot of fun going through the mazes and on the inflatables. We also took our time to experience traditional Chinese cuisine, and we watched the Chinese acrobats. I was kind of disappointed that I was unable to get any good photos of the Chinese acrobats because there wasn't seating. You just had to stand, and me being only 5 feet tall, it was difficult for me to even catch the show, let alone get video or pictures, but that was my favorite part of the experience. The largest lantern there was this Chinese dragon, and it was very beautiful. It happened to be my children's favorite. I did come home after the festival and do some research on Chinese dragons and their significance, and I was able to find that dragons are a very significant symbol in China. The dragons symbolize power, strength, and good luck. And at the Chinese festival, as I thought back, this dragon was the largest of all lanterns, and I believe it was to show its power and strength by having it be so much larger than the other attractions there. Um, and it, thinking back, it did seem powerful. It did seem strong with it being so big. It was also nice at the festival, although I was there to experience a new culture. It was nice to see traces of Minnesota. We saw the spoon and the cherry, which is modeled after the sculpture that is in the Walker Arts in Minneapolis. And I thought it was pretty neat. And here are a couple more photos. On the right, you'll see they had a Prince tribute, which is also a very big symbol for Minnesota, all made with their lantern material. And I thought it was very beautiful and very well done. I really enjoyed my experience. I enjoyed reading through the various websites and finding the information I did about the lantern festivals that occur in China, and the experience here being able to translate the research that I had done prior to and explain to my children the significance behind the lantern festival here in Minnesota and the one in China was a lot of fun. I plan on, when I am in a classroom, making sure that all cultures are understood, accepted, and respected. I believe that in every classroom, the classroom will be diverse no matter how different or how much the same people look. But culture and diversity needs to be understood, acknowledged, and respected. And I plan to make my classroom a very accepting place, and everybody will be respected.